Kentucky has a huge opportunity against Vandy tomorrow. And can this team make it 6 in a row? Well, we're going to break it all down here on episode 119 of the Big Blue Breakdown.
The Big Blue Breakdown, from kickoff to tip-off.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Big Blue Breakdown, where we cover Kentucky football and basketball. I'm Jackson Thurman, and I appreciate you guys listening to episode 119 here on the show. Hope you guys enjoy it. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts by liking, or help us out by liking, subbing, and go check us out on social media at Big Blue _Bdown on TikTok, X, and Instagram. So, in today's show, we're obviously going to be breaking down Kentucky versus Vandy in a, big-time matchup for the Cats, mainly because this is a chance for Kentucky really to kind of establish themselves in the SEC, which I think in a way they already have. But, this is a chance to do something nationally to really help out that resume and really help yourself moving forward, to put yourself in the best possible scenario when it comes to the NCAA tournament. But before we jump into today's episode, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Dubby Energy. If you're looking for a clean energy with no sugar and no crash, Dubby is the way to go. It helps me stay locked in for game days, late nights, and all these breakdowns. If you want to try it out, make sure to use my code BIGBLUE10 at checkout for 10% off. That's Big Blue 10. So let's go ahead and break down this Vanderbilt team. So right now, this team is 17-3. They are 4-3 in SEC play. This team was hot in the non-conference schedule and really hot to begin SEC play. They went undefeated in non-con play, and their best win is over Alabama, and that was their very first SEC game of the year. They played a pretty weak non-con, all things said. They played a pretty weak non-con, but they were, again, to go undefeated, you got to give them their flowers. They went undefeated. Weak non-con, but again, they won. They've lost now they lost 3 in a row at Texas, Florida, and then at Arkansas. Very 3 tough game stretch right there. And then they just went and beat Mississippi State. So they were able to get that monkey off their back of that 3-game losing streak. I'm sorry if I sound a little sick here, a little under the weather the last couple of days, but we continue along here. This team right now, per KenPom, 13th overall, 10th offense overall, 19th defense, and 40th adjusted tempo. So this team overall has some really, really good numbers, like very, very balanced through these numbers. Here's 13th overall, 10th offense, 19th defense, and 40th adjusted tempo. So what does this team do good? We're going to break down what this team does do good, what this team does not do well, their impact players, and what Torvik has for this game. So Vanderbilt is averaging around 28.5 three-point attempts per game. Very high volume three-point shooting team, and this puts them on the higher average in the country on a volume of three-point shooting teams. They're ranked 40th nationally in three-point attempts. Vanderbilt is making 10.2 three-pointers per game this season, which currently ranks 7th in the nation in three-point makes per game. So their volume is nice. Or is a lot. I don't want to say nice, because you can kind of defer on your opinion if volume is a good thing or volume is a bad thing. But here's the thing: they're making a lot of threes. They're making 10.2 3-pointers per game, which is 7th in the nation in 3-point makes. And this team is shooting a solid percentage at 36.3% a game. What else does this team do well besides three-point shooting and their volume of three-point shooting? Well, they're a fast-paced scoring and transition team. This team wants to push the pace. You look at that 40th adjusted tempo. This team wants to get turnovers, get the ball out in transition, and go get baskets. I think this is going to be very, very, very hard to defend this. Best way to defend their offense is not turning the ball over, because this is what this team wants to do. Again, they want to get out in transition. That's the way that they score. And then they also shoot the ball a lot from three-point land. Again, volume three-point shooting team, and they end up making a lot of their shots. This team, again, wants to play at a quick pace. They generate a lot of points and transition, especially after steals or defensive rebounds. And teams tend to struggle with their tempo a lot. Again, you look at the numbers, 40th adjusted tempo is a very, very good number for a team that wants to get up and down the floor. So one thing they also do very well is offensive rebound. Now, there's a guy that really, really helps him in this statistical category, and that is Devin McLaughlin. We're going to get to him later on impact players, but he contributes with offensive rebounding and scoring near the basket. He gives them a lot of extra possessions with high percentage shots after those offensive rebounds. So this team doesn't really have a weakness on the offense side of the ball. I mean, if you want to look at their 2-point percentages, they're average, but those numbers are kind of overlooked or pushed away in a positive way because of that offensive rebounding. They're able to get offensive rebounds and able to put the ball right back in the basket. This team, that's not what they want to do. They don't want to be a team that takes mid-range or, I mean, even floater shots. They want to take a lot of threes. They want to be a high volume 3-point shooting team. And then they want to get layups in transition, wide open layups. That's what this team wants to do. This isn't a team in the half court that wants to say, hey, let's get to the basket. Let's get downhill. Let's shoot some floaters. Let's shoot some mid range. Let's try to get around the basket. No, again, this team, in the half court wants to shoot a lot of threes. And with that, they are able to get offensive rebounds, to get high percentage chances around the rim. That's what this team does offensively, and it's all really, really good, if I'm being completely honest. So what does this team struggle with, or what has this team struggled with? I appreciate you guys, if you guys are watching here live, I appreciate all you guys in here. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what your prediction is for this game. I'll get into that later in this episode, but just tell me what you guys think about this matchup. And can Kentucky, can they pull this one out and be a huge, I mean, this would be the biggest one of the season for them. But obviously after that Tennessee win, that's the biggest right now. But if they were to win this, man, it'd be the biggest win all season, and it'd be such a boost for this team as they are already rolling. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. So what has this team struggled with as of recently? Interior defense and paint protection. Now, you look at the teams that they've played in the last couple of games, and that be Texas, Florida, and they also had the loss to Arkansas. And what do those teams do very, very well? They get to the basket. They get to the basket very, very well. Those teams right there, especially Florida and Arkansas. You look at the guard play of Arkansas and their ability to get downhill and get to the basket and get those types of points. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do offensively from a guard perspective. Florida, it's different. They want to do that with their bigs. They want to do that with their bigs and be able to get the ball inside and play bully ball in that way. And that is something that this Vandy team has struggled defensively at stopping. Interior defense and paint protection has been a struggle in the last couple of games for Vandy. Vanderbilt also allows 10.9 offensive rebounds per game. And that is about 28% of offensive rebounds that they're giving up. That is not a good number. I'd take a look at St. John's, who gave up a lot of this. We looked at that stat before going into that game, and the Cats were able to get those second chance opportunities. That could be a very, very big part of Kentucky's offense in this game. This team is they're letting up a good amount of second chance opportunities for teams, and that could range. You're saying about 11 offensive rebounds per game. That could end up being, 22 points in a game. That is a lot of points that teams are like, if they end up obviously making them all. Let's say 16 to 20 is the range right there. That is a lot of points that teams are getting off of misses that they had. Those are second chance points that they're getting. So this team has definitely struggled with interior defense and in letting teams get offensive rebounds. Okay. Last thing here is this team just, 19th is a very, very good number defensively per KenPom. I mean, that is a very, very solid number. But this team just defensively hasn't been great in SEC play. I mean, this is the bad. Against better teams, they have not been great offensively. Tammy Cooper says 78-72 Kentucky. I love it. I really, really hope that is true. And I actually really, really like this matchup here. And I'm going to get into those reasons why. But I love the prediction there. Thank you for commenting. So let's get into impact players here. So we went through the good, the bad, and what the overall is for this team. Vanderbilt impact players. Tyler Tanner is averaging 17.4 points a game. He's the lead guard for Vanderbilt here. He's also averaging 5.3 assists, and he is shooting 40% from three. He is paired with Duke Miles, who is averaging 16.3 points per game, almost 3 steals a game, and that leads the SEC in steals per game at 3 steals per game. And then you have Tyler Nickel, who was an absolute knockdown shooter from the outside, 15 points a game from him, shooting 46% from three. 46% from three. And then lastly, you have Devin McLaughlin here, 10 points per game, about 7 rebounds per game. And this is to mention just the players overall. This team is about 9 deep. This team is very, very good. They have struggled in SEC play so far. They hit a rough skid of losing those 3 games. This team is a high-octane offense. This team has some struggles in the paint, defensively, at least, defensively. What this team does do defensively is turn you over. This team is averaging around, I believe it's almost 10 steals a game. And a lot of that has to do with Duke Miles averaging 3 steals a game. As I said, leading the SEC. This team will turn you over, and that's what leads into such a high-octane offense, getting out in transition and then going to go get a bucket, an easy bucket to say the very least, at the other end. And that's how they spark their offense, is from getting turnovers. So Mark Torvik has Vandy winning this basketball game 85-73. He is really in favor for the Commodores in this one. He only gives the Cats a 14% chance of winning this game. So I'm going to tell you pretty quickly why I like Kentucky in this one. I hate to spoil my prediction for the end here, but I like Kentucky in this one. I'm going to tell you the keys to a win for this one. So this is going to be, I know it's a broader one, and this can apply to basically every game, but you cannot play from behind in this one. And the reason I say that, especially against this team, you look at the Alabama game, right? You look at the Louisville game. Kentucky was able to make some strides and some comebacks in those games, but those teams were too high of octane offenses to come back in those games. Same thing here with Vanderbilt. You cannot put yourself behind the 8 ball in this one and expect to come back and win like you did against Tennessee. Tennessee is not an amazing offense, and that's probably a big reason why you were able to do that, because they hit stints in that game where they were not able to score. Again, credit your defense right there, but man, you cannot do that against this type of offense that can easily just explode again and push that lead even further. So you cannot get behind in this one. Second thing is, and this is going to play into the favor of Vanderbilt as well, but it's something the Cats have to continue to do, and that is simply push the pace. And because this team is, one of the best teams in the country at pushing the pace and getting transition points. We have seen Kentucky at their best when they are pushing the pace. They have to push the pace, and that leads me into my next key point here, and that is force turnovers. You have to be able to force turnovers or get defensive rebounds consistently to push the pace. Again, to say get stops is obviously going to be a big one, but the thing is here, force turnovers so you can get easier looks at the other end, and sometimes that ends up getting you actually an open 3. So push the pace, and with that, you have to be able to force those turnovers to push the pace. And then lastly is stay out of foul trouble. We've seen in the last couple of games with this shortened rotation that foul trouble has really, really hurt the Cats, especially on a guy like Malachi. He cannot get in foul trouble because he is so important to this rotation and to this team right now. And he cannot get himself into foul trouble because that is going to kill the Cats. I mean, again, like a guy like Owe, who had 2 early fouls last game. Aberdeen had 2 early fouls against Florida. You cannot get yourself into foul trouble early, especially against this Vanderbilt team that can easily take advantage of a not so great defender or a weaker defender on a guy like Tyler Tanner, who would just completely kill you in this one. So the 4 keys here are don't play from behind, push the pace, force turnovers, and stay out of foul trouble. So before we move on, continue this episode. Excuse me, missing my words there. I want to shout out Bluegrass Elites, your go-to brand for Kentucky apparel. If you want high-quality gear that really represents Big Blue Nation, whether it's for game day, campus, or everyday wear, Bluegrass Elite has you covered. Make sure you check them out and use my code BBB15 for 15% off at checkout. That's BBB15 for 15% off. Okay, moving into the last portion here, I'm going to give you my prediction here. Again, I really appreciate Tammy for commenting. If any else of you guys have a prediction and an MVP, leave in the chat. Who was your MVP, Tammy? Let me know about that. So I actually do have Kentucky winning this one. And the reason I like Kentucky in this one is because the Kentucky has shown that they can win in multiple ways. And that really has given me a confidence boost about this team. You've seen them win in an ugly, terrible fashion against Ole Miss. They were able to win that game. They were able to win a nasty, ugly, in-the-mud game, defensive-oriented against Ole Miss. They were able to do that. You get that win. Show a play style that is different than a win against Tennessee, where you played into the mid 80s, right? You were able to go get buckets when you wanted them, right? You were able to win a high-octane offensive game in that one because we weren't able to really, I don't want to say stop Tennessee, but it was really was more of a offensive game than defensive game, especially in that second half. And you're able to show you can win that type of game. And then against Mississippi State, you're able to just blow them out, obviously, in LSU with the comeback. I like the different style of plays that Kentucky has been able to win in. Like, completely different from that Ole Miss and that Tennessee game. I like that for Kentucky. I think they can kind of carry that game against Tennessee and the way that you're able to slow them down enough and do enough offensively in a mid-80s type of game that you can get the win. We have Miles' voice on here. I appreciate Miles for commenting. 76-70, Kentucky will take an MVP, but we need Moreno and Yelovich to step up because of their height. Yes, I completely agree. I think Yelovich has definitely stepped up in the last couple of games and played very, very solid. Now, this is a guy that I want to see get to the basket a little bit more. As you said, his height, around 6'10". I think he has a good handle for being 6'10" and can get to the basket and go make plays. Want to see him do that more. Moreno's been absolutely magnificent. For this one, I have our Cats winning, pulling off a humongous upset over the Vanderbilt Commodores. This would be a huge quad one win, and this is a huge quad one opportunity. It's a quad 1A. There's like different categories. There's like an A and a B, I'm pretty sure. This is the highest quad one win you can have, especially on the road here. This would be a huge win, and also this would give you such a boost in the SEC standings. I think Kentucky wins 84-82. MVP is Colin Chandler. Give me Colin Chandler with the way he's been playing recently. I think he steps up again in this one. I think he has some really, really good guard play for the Cats, able to knock down a couple big threes. Let me know who you guys think will win this one. If you guys are watching this post live here, make sure to comment in the comment section. Who do you guys have? I appreciate Miles and Tammy for commenting in this one. I do think Kentucky can get this win here. I think they are rolling really, really high right now, winning 5 in a row in their last games. I am super, super confident that Ortega is going to give you, like Miles said here, give you a really good game. And just his consistency, I think Kentucky's right now is the leading 3-point percentage team in the SEC. It gives me a lot of confidence in their 3-point shooting. And again, this team has won in multiple styles. That gives me confidence for this. Probably going to be a high-octane, upbeat, up-pace game that Vanderbilt will want to play. Jay, what's up, Jay? How we doing? Jay says 83-77 Kentucky. Can't let Vandy shoot outside. Gritty, grind it out on defense. Yeah, 100%. And again, that leads me back to the style part. Kentucky was able to win that type of game against Ole Miss. Again, the Kentucky's ability to win in different styles has definitely given me a lot of confidence in this team moving forward. I have 84-82 Kentucky wins with Colin Chandler being the MVP. Dakota says, give me Kentucky by 4. Gonna be tough. 81-85. I like it. I love it. But I mean, think of how big of a win this would be, though. I mean, you look at the last bracketology by Joe Lenardi. I think he had us as a 7 seed playing NC State. Bully ball win, says Miles Voice. Yes, I think that's where Kentucky can they can do that for sure. I think Devin McLaughlin is gonna be a tough challenge inside, but I think guys like Mo can definitely enforce his will inside. Do we have any update on? Do we have any update on Jaden Quaintance? Is he officially out for this one? I would like to see if he is officially out. SEC. I want to see if he's out, or if they've even came out. I think they have came out here. Let's see here. Yep, Jaden Quaintance is out tomorrow. He is. Somebody that's questionable after Kentucky wins. Rank us cowards. Let's go. Yeah, man. I didn't get the top 25 rankings. And it's not because they left us out. I don't want to say it's because they left us out, but it's because they put St. John's in. And then, first of all, we beat them head to head, and their wins I can't even, I don't know what I'm trying to get out here. But their wins, the Big East, there we go. Their wins in the Big East are they better than Kentucky's in the SEC right now? I didn't think so. And then we had the head-to-head win over them. Doesn't make sense how they would have them ranked ahead of us, and then to have Tennessee ranked ahead of us at 26. Again, head-to-head win over them. Better record right now, a better record in the SEC. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And Jaden Quaintance right now is out for this game. I don't know. I don't like his situation right now, because I would love to have him back, because it sometimes is a struggle when BG's in there. It is. And to have him as a backup, I would just love. And again, with a injury, or I don't want to say injury prone, but an injured team, you would like to have maybe a couple guys out there. I mean, Cam, I think, wants to make a return, but when and how productive would he be when he gets back? I just like to have JQ back. Mike Sparlock says 84 to Kentucky. Yeah. I do like your guys' score predictions, because it is saying like Kentucky getting to like that middle of the 80s, and that's where I'm feeling it too. And then Miles Voice says St. John's are barely winning in Big East. Yeah. And again, I don't get it. If you don't want to rank us, fine. Don't rank St. John's, who we have a head-to-head win over, and with their wins in the Big East, you know. Dakota, well, it says St. John's at 25, Tennessee at 26, Kentucky at 27, and B, both of them. I don't get it either. I thought for sure he'd back. He back for a. Yeah. I thought he would too. And the thing that gets me, Jay, is it scares me because his dad's comments after that Alabama game. And, I do think he's dealing with the knee swelling. I do. And he doesn't seem like a kid, or I want to say kid here. He doesn't seem like a guy to just quit on this team. He doesn't. He doesn't seem like that type of person. But his dad's comments after that Alabama game, his complaints on social media were definitely alarming after that. Definitely. I want to see, but he is out for tomorrow. If you guys are just now tuning in, I want to see who St. John's has beat in Big East play so far. They beat Xavier the other day. They beat his son. Now, I'm gonna compare this to KenPom numbers here. All right. So we're gonna look at Richard Patino's team and Xavier, who he just beat for his 900th win, which is 85th in the Big East, right? So he just beat the 85th team by 5. He just recently beat Seton Hall 51. Jay Hayes, yeah, it doesn't look good for the comments, but the kid carries the ball everywhere he goes. Ball players play ball. Yeah. I have a little bit of confidence, but again, that just worries me just a little bit. Just a little bit. I really, really hope he comes back though, because I think with him, obviously not with the knee swelling, I think he could be very, very good, as we've seen in that St. John's game. I mean, they beat a solid Villanova team, but Marquette is horrible. I mean, let me see where Creighton is. Creighton is at 53. Okay, and let's compare just a couple of these. LSU is ahead of all of those teams that I just mentioned. All of them at 42. Ole Miss is at 72, which is the worst out of all of those right there. Mississippi State is at 95th. And then Tennessee, I think, is still pretty far up here on KenPom, at least. 20th. Excuse me. Yeah. I just don't get it. And then we have the head-to-head win. So you're telling me we've played similar teams in conference play? Yeah, sure. I mean, what they have one loss in their conference play, but man, I mean, we have the best win right there against Tennessee. I mean, we lost at Alabama, which is nothing to be mad over, but man, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they lost to Providence. Where does Providence sit at? 75th? I mean, our worst loss, obviously, to Missouri, but they're at 56. So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, man. It just doesn't make sense. And then to have just us beat Tennessee. Texas at 36. Thank you, Miles. I didn't even think about looking them up. Yeah. For us to have a harder schedule and to have one more loss than you do in conference play, and to have beaten you, and to have better wins, it doesn't make sense. I think Kentucky would be undefeated in Big East play if they were playing with them right now. Doesn't make sense. But I appreciate you guys tuning on here. I thank you guys so much for all the comments here. Really appreciate chatting it up with you guys. Kentucky has a huge one tomorrow and a huge opportunity to build to add to their resume and to possibly get, obviously, a better seed and put themselves in a pretty daggone good position in SEC play. And as JS mentioned, hopefully they would let us into the top 25. Lord knows what they would do then. But Jay says the bigger question is the NCAA committee taking consideration the Kentucky injuries. AP sure isn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they will. I've heard that. I mean, I've heard that they take in that type of stuff. And then you honestly look at our losses, and I hate to be like, okay, like we don't have bad losses, like because losing is terrible. We're the University of Kentucky. We expect to win every game. That aside, Kentucky, obviously their worst loss is going to be Missouri, right? Bad loss there against a okay Missouri team, you could say. But Michigan State, right now at 4th. Gonzaga at 9th. Louisville at 16th. Alabama at 19th. Right? I mean, North Carolina at 29th. It just, you know, I think resume, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine if Kentucky is able to stay consistent moving forward. And that is definitely a really, really good question, Jay. That is definitely a really good question. And then if you can factor in those injuries, go Big Blue. Tammy Cooper says, yes, go Big Blue. Hopefully we can get a big one tomorrow. But I think this team can definitely put themselves in a solid situation come March if they just stay consistent, if they're able to get these, pull off a couple of these wins that you're not supposed to and beat the teams that you are supposed to. The Southern transfers aren't playing. Yeah, Kentucky is winning. Yeah. I was thinking about something earlier, Jay. We, at the very beginning of this year, when it felt like we had hit rock bottom, you know, after that Gonzaga game, Louisville fans were making the comparison of Kenny Payne. Kentucky in what seems to be, I'm not going to make a projection yet because Kentucky's been playing very, very good as of recently. What seems to be the worst year since the COVID year, if you want to count that. Let's just say it is. Worst year since the COVID year. Kentucky, I believe, has tripled almost the wins since with the Kenny Payne years. Tripled. I just thought that was funny. The next 2 games are here. Yeah, 100%. If Kentucky can simply go 1-1, whatever win is the win, right? Whatever it is, whatever loss is the loss here. If they can simply go 1-1 in these next 2 games, I am feeling super, super confident about this team moving forward. You said Louisville fans. That says it all. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure they were getting killed. What I seen earlier. Let's see how they're playing right now. They got trampled. They lost by 31. Wow. 83-52. And Michael Brown was terrible. I watched this, especially in the first half. He was terrible in this game, man. He was terrible. 34 minutes, 7 points. Yeah. Man. Jay Louisville got blasted, by the way. And he had some terrible. I want to say he had some terrible splits here. I don't know what he shot in this one, but it was bad. Like, he had 7 points on probably 15 shot attempts. It was probably something bad. Man. Blasted. As you said, Jay, blasted. That's funny. That is funny. And then that Has that Arizona game started? Man, that's a good one right there, though. I think I have BYU winning. I think AJ DeMont is the real deal. I mean, the real deal. But as I was saying, if Kentucky can end up going 1-1 this week, man, would that be absolutely huge. Huge. Toughest team in America, Kentucky. I love it. I love it. Love it. Miles' voice. We really should have been Louisville, North Carolina, Missouri, but we can't look back. Kentucky's finally figuring it out. Yeah, 1,000%. They are figuring it out. And I think a big part of that is them finally figure out a rotation that really fits well together. Guys that fit well together, that are playing well together. Guys that stepping up, like Jasper. Like Jelly. I say Jelly. Yelovich. But man, I think people understanding their roles now, understanding what they need to do is going to be big. You win that Missouri game, you're first in the SEC. Yeah, that's what stings about that Missouri game, man. Where a game you controlled the entire time, just like the North Carolina game. You beat those two teams, you completely changed the complexion of how you are viewed. But I think it's going to be all right. And maybe we'll look back on it and it's a blessing in disguise that they lost that, because they finally figured out their stuff. They finally got their stuff together and figured it out. Because it definitely seems like they have. It definitely seems like they have. I think we're projected per Mark Torvik to go 9-9 in SEC play. I think this was before the Alabama game. My projection was 14-4. I don't know if that's realistic, but I think Kentucky could get to those 12 or 13 wins in SEC play. And then you got the SEC tournament. You could boost yourself up to a 4 or 5 seed, and then you're sitting in a pretty good spot. I feel like Kentucky right now is a team that could do some damage in the tournament if they get the right matchups, and it's all about matchups in the NCAA tournament. But man, I'm excited for tomorrow, because if they win tomorrow, I mean that really shows the turnaround Mark Pope has made, and the criticism is almost gone. Because, man, he has done a job. He has done a job. Just really excited for tomorrow. Again, I have us winning here 80, 84, 82. Yep, Colin Chandler. Who had Texas A&M number 1 on their bingo card? Man, Bucky Ball. They're playing good, man. They're playing good. That team just shoots a crap ton of threes. They make a crap ton of threes. And they press the entire game, I'm pretty sure. But they're hot, man. They're hot, Jay. Their only losses at Tennessee, too. Miles' voice says, they said our ceiling is a 2 seed. Is that recently, Miles? Is that recently, or is that at the beginning of the year? I mean, yeah, if things go insanely well, we could be a 2 seed, like insanely well. Kentucky would have to, just rattle off 8 or 9 wins in a row. But it's possible. It's possible, but I don't know how realistic it is. But yeah, they could. They could. If you guys were to give a projection right now, what would you say our seeding would be at the end of the year? Last projected, our ceiling is a 2. Okay. Well, that's, yeah, things would definitely have to go well, but it's in the, it's on the table for sure. It's on the table for that to happen. I'm going to say Aberdeen player of the game at Vandy. Yeah, man, he's been playing absolutely absurd in the last, since SEC play, to be honest. What is he averaging? Maybe after that Ole Miss game where he didn't play amazing, probably is averaging around 15, 16 points per game. But man, has he been a dog. His shot making and shot creation ability right now is off the charts. There we go. Say that wrong. 8 seed. Okay. Probably because our strength of remaining schedule. Yeah. Yeah, Miles, that's probably right. Because if you're able, obviously, to get those wins, help them up. 8 seed? Okay. See, the thing is, I don't want that 8 seed because that 8-9 matchup is always so daggone close, Jay. I would 8-9 seed is just an always amazing game, but I don't want to be in that game. I don't want to be in that game. I don't want to have to play a 9 seed. 4 or 5 seeds is my voice. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Again, I think we were last projected as a 7, and that was one up from where Joe Lenardi had us last. So 7 is where he has us currently. Always. Yep. Yep. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't like the matchup. Like, obviously, Joe Lenardi is not going to be spot on right here. But if, let's just say it came out the way he had it, right? And that guy's really good at what he does, right? The 7, we would have the 7-10 matchup against NC State. I do not want to play that NC State game or that NC State team. That's a matchup that I would want to avoid. But it also had Nebraska as a 2. Nebraska's hot, like one of the greatest, right now is the greatest story in college basketball. But man, that would be the best 2 matchup that we could get, like per his thing here. I actually want to look that up. I want to look that up right now. Out of the 2 seasons, it's like Michigan State, Purdue, and Gonzaga. Jay's only 3 coaches have taken an 8 seed to the championship. Cal is one of them. I like to see Pope do it. Yeah, for sure. And maybe with his team, maybe this is the type of team that could just go on a hot streak, as we've seen recently, to win like 3 or 4 games in a row. I think you get to that second weekend and magical things can happen for sure. For sure. Going on Joe Lenar's thing right now. Yeah, 7 playing NC State. Okay, so this has changed, actually. This has changed. We'd be playing Purdue. I would not like that matchup. The matchup, if 2 seeds stay the same, and we were a 7 seed, I want to play Nebraska. Even though they're super hot and they're still undefeated. Out of the 2 seeds, I do not want to play Purdue. Right? I do not want to play... if I can find the other one here, excuse me. I do not want to play Houston. Definitely don't want to play Houston. I don't want to play Gonzaga. And then I don't want to play, trying to figure out the last one here. And I don't want to, again, I don't want to play, Purdue. This is absolutely the kind of team. Yeah, for sure, Jay. For sure. But man, it would really, really do us a lot of good if we were to win them. Do us a lot of good. But I appreciate tuning in to this one. I appreciate all the comments here. Man, it was a lot of fun talking to you guys. We're going to do a live after tomorrow night's game. Please hop back on, talk to me. It was a lot of fun talking tonight, and hopefully the Cats can do this. My projection is for the Cats to win. I think they stay hot. I do think that Arkansas is a bad matchup for the Cats, but I appreciate you guys tuning in to episode 119 here on the Big Blue Breakdown, and we're going to catch you guys tomorrow after the game, hopefully with a win. We beat Purdue. Miles' voice says, yeah. Hopefully, man, we were able to get a win last time. I mean, obviously in the preseason. Hopefully, we would be able to if we got that seed. But appreciate you guys tuning in to this one. I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully after a big win against Vandy. And as always, go Cats.
The Big Blue Breakdown from kickoff to tip-off.